Hi there, Joke here for a pocket full of happiness, and today I want to show you the For Dad stamp set in action. So this is a new stamp set that was just released, and in the release video I was talking about it in a longer detail, and in this video I'm just gonna show you 3 cards. So as I mentioned, there are cut files available, and this one here I cut from um, Gina K's Masking Magic, which is what I'm gonna use for all the masking here. Um, so this it's a 1 layer card, right? But it does take some patience and some time, especially when you do it for the first time. This was my third because I was testing different masking materials, and the stencil material that worked. I mean, I almost gave up there, to be honest with you, but here this was, compared to that, it was a dream. So it worked really wonderfully. So the only thing that you have to think about when you are doing masking is which image you want to have in the foreground, and all it takes really is some planning. And this is one of the reasons why I put a sample on the back of the packaging. So, if you don't want to think, then you can just look at it and then check what comes first, and then it's quite easy to follow. So then you always have to mask and stamp the next image that goes behind the previous one. And these some of these images have a bunch of layers to them, like this bottle. Of course you can use it like this, but there's a little label that goes on there, this one here. And then there is beer that you can stamp however way you want to. I stamped it at an angle. And then the rest of the images are just simple. This pretzel here, then there's a sausage and some wheat, just, so you have some kind of floral element to it, just so that it looks like, a bouquet of things. And yeah, so I'm just layering things up here, and I think in some places I have 3 layers of masks, and it just worked wonderfully. Try that with stencil material. It just was not working. All right, so I'm showing you all the colors I used here. I wasn't quite happy with my choices, especially for the paper bag. I just don't seem to have enough, well, or different kinds of browns. I realized I think I have all the colors, but somehow um, it was just not enough, or not the right ones, or I don't know, maybe at this point I already kind of lost patience. But I knew that I would emboss that bag later, so I wasn't so worried about the color. So it's kind of cool, I think, when you layer all these masks on top of each other, and then you don't actually see your image, and then you start peeling things off, and then it reveals your design. That's always kind of magical, or you should hope so. I think sometimes things go wrong, but I think this turned out okay. And then there's this little cap for the bottles, and that's pretty much it. And for my sentiment, I'm just using a simple Happy Father's Day, and not to mess up my whole work. I tried to stamp it on a scratch paper first to see if it's lined up properly. And next card panel that I'm starting, I set that aside so that it can dry some, because I will emboss that paper bag. So I started working on another card in the meantime. And here I tried using a bit of different colors just so that they are not all the same. And this one is also done with masking, but I try to find a simpler kind of arrangement, so there's not so many masking in this and not so many images. So there's only one bottle, and I don't even remember what else there was, but we will see that in a second. The only one thing I wasn't really thinking about is that if you look at the proportions, technically um, you should see a person behind this peeking through, like the head of a person. But okay, imperfections, right? So probably you could just stamp the hands in the same color as the paper bag, and then you don't have hands, so then you can just you know, nobody's holding it, and you don't imagine a person behind this bag. I did not quite think about that. Okay, again, I'm stamping the sentiment, a different one, this time Happy Beer Day, and that's almost done. I'm just going to create layers later, but in the meantime, I'm going to create a third panel, and this one will be even simpler. I try to channel my inner clean and simple card maker, but I mean, I can't for my life create clean and simple cards, but I tried just so that you see that it can still be fun. Here I'm using a different stamp that I haven't used before. This one is a can. It has two parts, as you can see, so you can add two colors or just one if you want. And for this one, I did not create a masking cut file, but I did create a cut file that you can use if you just want to, you know, like a coordinating die, if you just want to create a die cut piece. Because for masking it doesn't really work since the image is not a full image, so stamping something behind it just makes no sense. All right, so this is the embossing powder that I used for the bag. It's an Alexander Renke for WOW product called Manuela's Honey, and as you can see, it's kind of translucent. It looks translucent because you can see the color behind it, which is weird because I used this embossing powder before and it was completely opaque, so I don't know, but you can see the ink colors through it, but at least it gives some a different texture and some dimension. All right, so these are the panels, and now I'm going to turn these into cards. The first one, with all the masking, is just gonna be a very simple card, a one layer card, or maybe if you consider the embossing, it's already 2 layers. I will add some twine to this. I'm not sure men would really care for this, but I don't know. I just can't leave a card that basic, I think. So yeah, and then I'm adding a drop of glue just to keep that bow in place, and I thought I would add some enamel dots. I had the perfect matching colors, so yeah, I pushed them into plate so that they don't move, and then I set that aside because I will still do one thing to all cards at the end. So I die cut this one with a simple stitched frame die. I don't even know what company this is from. I'm forgetting. It's a set of several different sizes. I think the biggest one is the A2 size. So I die cut one in that size, and then I cut the panel itself, the stamp panel, a bit smaller, so I can create some layers here, adding a bit of foam tape, or in this case a foam sheet. And yeah, and then this card is almost done as well. So yeah, I guess these cards are quite simple. Normally I create a bit more complex, or more layers, or more textured, or cards, but somehow, I don't know about you, but when I create something for men, and that doesn't happen very often, like almost never, I just always feel a bit weird when I try to add more things. I always feel like, actually, I don't even know any men that would really appreciate a card. So it's hard to create cards for men. So I hope that some of the men in my life will appreciate this one. My dad doesn't know about it yet, and he has birthday soon, so I have to, although I already created him a card before, but I think then I will just send 2 cards. I mean, why not? All right, so here and with the third panel, I die cut that even smaller, and then I have 3 layers of these stitched panels. So again, just so that it's not a 1-layer card. Although I was thinking about, actually, to really leave this one, this most simple panel, just white and then 1 layer, but I just couldn't do it. I thought it would be a cool, simple, like a cast card, but I just couldn't do it. So I had to add some pattern paper, at least, for color and some variation, I guess. And then I'm adding some twine again, and yeah, and then these are almost done. So in this video, I'm only showing these 3 cards, but I did create some other one with this stamp set that is a completely different style. I show it in the release video if you are interested. I still need to edit that video. All right, so this is the last step I'm doing. I'm adding some gold splatters because that's always great. And that's it. So there you have it. I hope you like this stamp set. I think maybe it's something different. We don't have enough masculine stamp sets. I think. I know I don't. I only have like 1. So yeah, I hope you like this. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.